Welcome to Armstrong High School for Northwest Suburban Conference Volleyball on CCX Sports, as tonight the Totino-Grace Eagles pay a visit here to the Armstrong Falcons on senior night for Armstrong. Hard to believe, but we're just about to the end of the regular season. Next week they have matches remaining, but then it'll be playoff time for both of these teams. And some definite similarities for these two in terms of the type of seasons they've had. The Eagles have a little bit better overall record, but in terms of their common opponents has been pretty even, and they're tied within their division of the Northwest Suburban as well. Very young team for Totino-Grace, as they graduated all but one starter from last year, and they've also had a little bit of injuries to deal with. And for Armstrong too, they've got really a mixture of ages. Both teams had new head coaches last season, so you take that next step in that second year with the program, and both teams feeling like they have a decent shot tonight. That it, on paper, looks like a relatively even matchup. And Armstrong started out the season with some wins. The wins have been tougher to come by of late, but part of that too is the opponents that you've been playing. They did get a win last week over Park Center. Meanwhile, for Totino-Grace, they are in Class 2A for playoff time, or excuse me, 3A, so the second largest class, and they feel like they should be a number 2 seed in their section. They got a good section win over Big Lake last week in 5, and that one could possibly put them as the number 2 seed in their section. They lost to Zimmerman to start the year, and that's who they figure will probably be the top seed. But the Eagles definitely have some possibilities of going somewhere at playoff time. Both teams, again, trying to round things into form for playoffs too, so you look at combinations and lineups and everything tonight, and we'll see who can come out on top. Armstrong's going to have a senior-heavy starting lineup to honor some of those seniors, give them maybe some extra playing time this evening. And their coach, Reagan Pittman, saying, I told them first set we'll really honor the seniors, and then after that it's business as usual. We'll go out and try to win this one here this evening. Good crowd on hand too to honor their seniors for the Falcons. We will get started in a moment. Northwest Suburban Girls Volleyball on CCX. It's Totino-Grace and Armstrong. Tip off in a moment.
For 90 years, Connection has been at the heart of everything they do at Topline Financial Credit Union. Their team is passionate about connecting with you to help you reach your financial dreams. For some, they're here for your first, like your first checking account, first car, or first home. For others, they're here for those next steps, whether it's remodeling your home, saving for retirement, or starting a small business. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of your big moments. Visit toplinecu.com, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Thank you to our supporting sponsor, Scott's Lawn Care, serving homes and businesses of their neighbors in the Twin Cities West Metro area. Scott's Lawn Care team offers services ranging from weekly maintenance to complete redesign. Also, Scott's Lawn Care offers snow plowing services for the smallest residential lots to large commercial projects as well. Thank you, Scott's Lawn Care, for being a supporting sponsor of CCX Media.
And welcome back. You got a chance to see a little bit of the senior night. Players honored for Armstrong with their families: Amelie Boughton, Addison Essen, Sylvia Seifert, Soraya College, Amelia Higgins, and Peyton Gatlin. The 6 seniors for Armstrong, and all of them in the starting lineup tonight on senior night as well. Totino-Grace just has a couple of seniors. Obviously, we're not on their home gym. It's not their senior night or anything, but they will have a lot of their team back next year. A pretty junior-heavy group, and Grace will get the serve first as Annie Hurlbrink will get us started, and we are underway. It's a good serve, and just too strong from College. Soraya College will be playing for Totino-Grace's head coach, Pilar Onstead, in the club season. And they said they're very conscious of her tonight, and she hit that first one too long, and that's going to be an ace. So now 2-0 for Totino-Grace. A little bit of indecision for the Falcons. They'll come back for College, had that one blocked. A roll shot there. Oh, good recovery as College able to punch it over, and that one might have been headed out. Kara Hansen, the sophomore, playing it deep to the corner, and it certainly looked like there was a pretty good chance it was going to be out, but nobody called them off. This was a great dig here. And then played to the, I think that ball probably was long. Good hustle, though. Hurlbrink serving again, and Boughton unable to handle that one. So a good start with the serve for Hurlbrink and the Eagles. When you're on the road like this, maybe not a real familiar gym, it's kind of nice to get off to a good start if you're Grace. Much better pass this time around. College sending that one over. Come back to the left side. Addison Essen getting a swing. Dumped over. College was ready. Long rally here. Essen sending it over. Now they'll look to go middle with it. College, back and forth we go here. College timing it perfectly and gets the block on that hit from way off the net by Haley Sainham. So Armstrong finally getting on the board. College is a good athlete. There's a look at the starting groups for these teams. Again, for Armstrong, a little bit different maybe than what you'd see on a normal night because of all those seniors being in their lineup. Higgins with the serve. And a misfire there by Hansen. So now Armstrong trying to get something going as they pull within 4-2. Good recovery there on not a real good first pass. Essen will send it over now. Grace an opportunity to get into their offense. Dug up there. Fountain going for it. A scramble, and they can't quite get it over, and Grace will score the point. Eagles have possibly their best player, Lexi Brand, has been battling an injury. We may or may not see her tonight. She's not in the starting lineup, and Coach Onstead was saying that that certainly hurt their offense. They've got good back row defense, but haven't been a real strong offensive team this year. College seeing a lot of open space as they came aggressive with the block, so she just tips over it. And Armstrong back to within 5-3. Addison Essen serving. Overpass here, and College knows what to do with that. Falcons to within 1. Did a good job of being aggressive enough, but not too aggressive. Sometimes people get overly excited and try to really hammer those. Long chase to get to that one. They will get it over, but Armstrong a good opportunity to get it going offensively here. Seifert got a swing. And that one put away nicely by Sainham for Totino-Grace. Found some room in that deep corner. 6-4 Eagles. Maggie Quinn will come in to serve now for Grace. College letting it rip. Started with a good pass, and they teed it up. Higgins to College, and Soraya College pounding that one home to bring the Falcons back within 1. And right over the block. As we mentioned, Coach Onstead very aware of College, and they were definitely concentrating on trying to stop her tonight, but So far, not quite able to do it on that one. Good hustle to get to that one after they again had a little trouble with serve receive. Cross court with it. Ooh, that one might have been going out. And a net violation there anyway against Totino-Grace. A little hang time for Soraya Williams. As I don't think she got the set she was hoping for, but she stayed airborne long enough to be able to still tip that ball over, and then Grace was in the net regardless. Armstrong trying to take the lead here now at 6-6. Tipped over though as Williams, the blocker, was on the way down, and it just got her hand and drops in. 7-6 Grace. Clara White will come in to serve here for Totino-Grace. Again, a lot of new faces in their lineup this year. One starter, all that returned. Off the block and down. And we're even up again at 7. Gatlin to serve here for the Falcons. And quite a few lefties on this Armstrong team, noticing that early on. A little awkward one there, but still got it over. And that one is going to be just wide. It was a good idea. There was a lot of room in that corner, but they didn't hit it. And Armstrong will go ahead for the first time now at 8-7. Another look. It was a very awkward play by Seifert as she managed to get that ball over. Nice dig by Boughton on the attack from Kaspers. And now the Eagles will even it up. Coach Onstead was saying her middles are kind of sneaky. Sometimes they can perform pretty well, and she would be interested to see how they do tonight. And here comes Lexi Brands in. We mentioned battling a knee injury for the Eagles, and widely regarded as their best attacker and best overall player. So see how much they can get out of her tonight. Williams will score it. Tipping off the block for the Falcons. And they go back in front now at 9-8. Seifert will serve here for Armstrong. Brands getting her first touch on the ball. Essen off the block, and nobody can get there. That ball hung in the air for a while. It felt like the Eagles probably should have been able to play it, but got caught too far back. 10-8 Armstrong. First time they've had more than a 1-point lead. Off the block here, and they won't recover as Casper is getting the kill for Grace, and they're back within 1. Avery Olson to serve here for the Eagles. And I think just out. I was going to say I thought it looked pretty close, but just wide, and 11-9. I was going to say both teams have been pretty solid with the serve. Not necessarily, over the top aggressive, but getting them in play, and then Olson just missing on that one. Boughton to serve here for Armstrong. Brands. Oh, denied by College. What timing on that one. Great block. 12-9 Falcons. Brands hitting from back off the net, and College timed it up perfectly, penetrated the net with their hands and scores it. Going to come back out to Brands. This time we'll push it over. Essen. That one's dug up. Free ball chance here for Armstrong. Oops, an overpass there and put away. Brands converting for the Eagles, and they are back to within 2. I don't know exactly how much, time Lexi's been missing or, just how much she's been practicing, but Coach said, we're not going to start her tonight. Hope to play her some, and they definitely want her ready for playoffs. And that's always the question, how much. And that one rolled home by College. She's been dynamite here tonight. It's always the question, is it better to keep resting and then be ready for playoffs, or do you want to, obviously, if possible, you'd like to get a little bit of match time in. Cross court, it is good, so the Eagles will pull within a couple. Anderson the serve. Here's College ripping another one home. Essen will serve here for Armstrong. Eagles have had a little trouble with serve receive. Not, completely misfiring, but not too many clean, crisp passes to the setter. And this one put away by Sainum for the Eagles. So they battle back to within a couple. Quinn will come in to serve here for Totino-Grace. Look at this one as she's able to get it off hands. Tough one for College, but she just punched it over. And then another one put away by Sainum. Grace to within 1. Well done there for Haley. College having to tip with her offhand, the right hand. And this time Sainum into the tape. So Armstrong will go back up by 2. Soraya College to serve it up here for the Falcons. Don't need both balls. Ooh, off the net. And then Williams able to put it away. Those balls are tough to handle when the serve glances the tape like that. Overpass here, and Williams once again puts it away. Another look. Williams getting it done there. And then too short with the next serve. College had a good little run going there, but now Grace will pull within 3. White coming in to serve here for Totino-Grace. And it'll be an ace. A little bit of lack of communication there for Armstrong as a couple of players seem to be in position, Essen and Seifert, and then they both kind of maybe hesitated just a bit. This time much cleaner. Oops, but then they set. They weren't on the same page there, and Went over the head of Williams, and Seifert just trying her best to bump it over, but couldn't do it. So now a 1-point lead for Armstrong. White trying to continue her mini run at the service line. Tipped over, and then, no, this one's out off the antenna, so score the point for Armstrong. Boy, a great effort there, kind of backhanding it with Seifert. There's a scramble. Watch this ball as she has to reach for that one, and off the blockers. Good effort by Grace for sure, but definitely was out. Oops, and then a misfire by Gatlin. Give the serve right back to Grace. Sainham to serve. Brands coming back in for the Eagles. And that'll be an ace as it went over the head of the libero, Boughton. And that kind of caught Gatlin off guard. And she thought her teammate was going to play that one, but it was a little too high for her. Sainham, that one is too strong, and good communication. So they just called Gatlin off at the last second there. Yeah, definitely long. Brands had it blocked by Williams. They've had a number of solo blocks here in this first set. Part of the reason Armstrong's up by 2. And a timeout by Coach Onstead for Totino-Grace. And again, it kind of gets back to that serve receive. That again, it was another pass that wasn't, wasn't an easy one to set, and it led to them setting that ball well off the net for Brands. Coach Onstead said she's going into the loan tonight. They have one of her assistants is a really good softball player and is playing in a softball tournament. Another one just had a baby, and another one just started a new job. So she is working solo on the bench for the varsity match tonight. And then the freshman coaches had to go back on the bus with the freshman team. So she said, well, we'll see. It'll be a little different, but I think it'll be fine. Sylvia Seifert serving for Armstrong. They lead it by 2. It's been tight all the way through this first set. Grace got off to an early lead, but Armstrong is, I don't know if I want to say taking control, but played pretty well since, and they will go up by 3. Be interesting to see now if, how much changes for Armstrong when the second set starts. They've had success with a lot of seniors playing, and that was going to be not necessarily a night-long thing, depending on how the match was going, but maybe that strategy will change if they take this first set. Long scramble. Sainham able to get it over. They go to Williams, but denied. Good block by Kaspers. Seen a number of good solo blocks for Armstrong. This time it's Kaspers' turn. First, the good hustle to get this ball over. Armstrong thought they had what they wanted going for him there. Williams, though, denied. Kaspers timed it up perfect. Olsen serving now for the Eagles, and they have not had much of that tonight. That one was clear from the beginning. It was going to be a service error, and Armstrong within 3 of trying to put this first set in the books. Boughton to serve here for the Falcons. Dumped over, but Boughton was ready. College with a little roll shot there. Didn't get the set where she wanted to take a strong attack at it, but smartly rolling it over the blockers. And Armstrong leading by 4 as Boughton will serve again here. Tough ball to handle at the net. Good job to at least get it over. Essen had that one blocked. Dump back over. Out to Brands. She'll play it toward the deep middle. Essen another crack at it here, and she will score it. Falcons by 5 as Addison Essen on the senior night. One of those Armstrong seniors coming out and showing up well here in this first set. Overpass here, and College hammers it. Fountain with the serve, and then College puts it away, and the Falcons will take a W in this first set as they win it going away here a little bit. 25-19 Armstrong as they start the night in style here on senior night. We will come back with set number 2 here, Northwest Suburban Girls Volleyball on CCX Sports.
For 90 years, Connection has been at the heart of everything they do at Topline Financial Credit Union. Their team is passionate about connecting with you to help you reach your financial dreams. For some, they're here for your first, like your first checking account, first car, or first home. For others, they're here for those next steps, whether it's remodeling your home, saving for retirement, or starting a small business. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of your big moments. Visit toplinecu.com, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured with the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Welcome back to Armstrong High School. The home fans got a pretty good showing in that first set to watch as Falcons, after starting out a little bit slow, come back and win it 25-19. And now we will go to set number 2. Calais Pinata will serve to begin the second set. She is one of those non-seniors who we didn't see in the first set, but normally a starter for them, and fans around here know that Pinata name is legendary for volleyball in this area. Tipped over. Pinata trying to save that one, and then punched over by Madeline Schultz. So Armstrong sticking with the original plan of going back to their regular lineup, and Williams puts this one away as they will strike first. So we are seeing some players we didn't see in that first set, as I mentioned, Pinata. And then Higgins is now the libero, number 9. And that'll be a net violation against Grace. Also in for Armstrong, Peyton Olson, number 4, who we did not see in that first set. And Pinata, that one into the tape. Her aunts are tremendous players, mostly in this Armstrong program. Hurlbrink to serve here for the Eagles. And College will score it again. That one wasn't as clean as some of them she's had tonight, but they'll take it as it went off the net and kind of skipped across court. And Addison Essen will serve here for Armstrong. They lead it 3-1. Scramble for the Eagles, and they'll not get it over, so Olson scores the point for Armstrong. Essen to serve. That one's off the tape, and it'll be an ace. I feel like for the Eagles, probably their biggest issue tonight has been serve receive a little bit. Now this one's a little different. When it hits the net like that, it's really tough to react to, but I don't feel like they've passed the ball especially well, or as well as they know they can. We've had a lot of points like this where the setter had to really scramble for it. And this one put away again by Peyton Olson. Good set by Pinata. That ball was put pretty well on target across court. And a 6-1 lead here for Armstrong. Higgins able to fight it off. And this would be an interesting one. It is going to be Armstrong's point. Another look, the tip. No, yeah, it's off the body of Casper's. And that'll be another ace as Olsen unable to get her platform square up underneath that one. Rocky start for the Eagles in the second set. Armstrong won the first and off to a good start here in the second. Ooh, they just got to that one. And nobody home though for Armstrong. So the Eagles kind of get a bit of a break there and they will get side out, but down 8-2. Anderson serving here for Grace. And put away by Olsen as Pinata, again, a good set. Peyton Olsen showing that she was ready after not playing in that first set to kind of honor the seniors, let them play a lot. Seifert will serve here for Armstrong. To the middle, and Caspers hammers that one home. Schultz coming back in, as does Higgins, the barrel for Armstrong. Caspers to serve. Her team has gotten off to a slow start in this second, but she'll score the point here. That's the nice thing about volleyball is, you know, there isn't a time issue, it's just the score. So you still very much in it. Things can change in a hurry. And that one's going to be too strong. Good talk there by Armstrong. I don't think it was like completely obvious right off her hand that that one was going to sail out. So good job by them to communicate and let it go. Caitlin Essen will serve now, the freshman, younger sister of Addison. And that'll be an ace. Caitlin and Addison's dad Dave stopping by to say hi and reminding me that I broadcast his high school games when he played hockey at Osseo, so great to see him, and had spoken with him at the New Hope Arena a couple of years back when he had a son playing for Armstrong Cooper. Swatted over, boy, everything going right for Armstrong. Brooklyn Fondo, the sophomore, just a reaction type play. It wasn't smooth and pretty, but able to just bat that one over. I think Pinata was all ready to set it, and you're like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. Middle attack here, fought off by Caitlin Essen. And that was going to be too strong. Eagles asking for a touch, but they say no. Sainham taking a swing and missed the blocker's fingers with that one. See if we can see it here. No, it was over them, it looked like. And a service error will give the Eagles the point. Clara White to serve for Grace, but they've got an uphill climb here in this second set. She did have a good run of serves toward the end of that first set, but obviously Armstrong kind of pulled away at the end. And wide with that one cross court. Olsen kind of had to adjust her feet. Weren't quite on the same page there and getting ready for that one. Olsen able to dig that one up. And that one sprayed too long by Olsen, so she had some good effective moments early, but a couple of misfires here of late, and 13-7 now. Pinata will push this one over. Eagles a chance to get an attack going. Rolled into the middle there by Sainum. And now all of a sudden it's all Grace. White to serve again here for the Eagles. Essen tracking it down. And then sent wide by Caitlin Essen. And Armstrong, after kind of having everything going their way there for a bit, now they're the ones making the mistakes. And the lead has been trimmed to 4. I bet you we're probably maybe 1 point away from a timeout for Armstrong if try and break the momentum a little bit. That one blocked, but Boughton was there. Good coverage behind the block, and then Pinata will attack. Much needed point there for Armstrong. And that one put away. Boughton will come in to serve, and I'm terribly sorry. I called Higgins Boughton a couple times because they switched liberos between sets, and I'm just looking at the blue jersey and not the number there, so I apologize. Boughton is now serving, wearing number 1. And that tip is wide of the mark, so now Armstrong stretching the lead back out. That one blocked. Eagles fighting to track it down, and they do so. Sent over then by Hurlbrink. But nice middle attack as Fondo will put that one away. Armstrong, that felt like a key point for them to get. They played well. The Eagles did a heck of a job running it down, but then set for strong attack by Fondo. Some points kind of feel like they matter more than others. I mean, I know it's obviously not the case on the scoreboard, but they felt really good about that one, and they should. Roll shot here again by Sainum. She's had a pretty good variety of ways of scoring for the Eagles. They pull within 16-10. Now Brands will check back in. Again, Lexi Brands 17, and White is battling through an injury and played some in the first set, but I don't think it's fair to say probably not her full strength self. Dumped over here, but Higgins was ready. And then the left-hand tip by Williams. Falcons by 7 as Higgins will serve. Here's Brands getting a swing, but it is blocked. Schultz getting up to block it for Armstrong. And they lead 18-10. Love the timing there. Dug up there by Caitlin Essen. And then put away by Williams. Falcons looking pretty sharp. 19-10. Armstrong lead. Timeout, Totino-Grace. We mentioned Armstrong got off to a pretty good start this year. Actually won their first 4 matches, including a couple of 5-setters to begin conference play over in Osseo. But since then, they've only won a couple of times in a tournament against Maranatha and then sweeping Park Center last week. So, again, we're not counting anything on their side yet, but they're off to a nice start. It would be a good win for them if they're able to get it. Armstrong closing out the season next week with matches against Hopkins and Blaine. And Grace has Coon Rapids and Mounds View yet on the schedule. Higgins will serve here for Armstrong. And another that was left-handers. Ooh, they just get to that one. Now Brand trying to tip it over. She's gotten a few of them blocked. And I think that time was a little bit hesitant, which I don't think is her typical self. And again, coming back off that knee, too. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got a change on the call here. Make them redo that substitution now. And to say they hadn't changed the scoreboard. That one blocked. Pinata is blocked, but it's out. So now Armstrong will go up 20-11. Couple of blocks in a row for the Eagles, but unfortunately the second one, they didn't quite turn it back into the court. First one's good, and then the next one offhands it out. So Pinata to serve here for Armstrong. Oh, just long with that one. Hurlbrink to serve for Totino-Grace. Long road back, but not impossible here. They're down 20-12. Pinata sending that one over. Brand's tipping down the line, and good scramble there by Higgins. Casper's coming through again in the middle. That has to make Coach Onstead happy, seeing her middles come through with a couple of key points. Hurlbrink. Good serve. Ooh, just punched over. And score the point for Hansen of Totino-Grace. They are back in it. And look at that one as just scrambling to get it over. And then Hansen firing away. College. Pretty accurate for a ball that was way out to the side. Gonna come back to College, and she'll roll it over the block. Good effort on the dig try by Hurlbrink, but it'll be a point for College. Haven't heard from her as much in this second set as we did in the first. Soraya was kind of everywhere, but scoring a key point there for Armstrong. And And then a service error for Addison Essen. Back to a 6-point lead for Armstrong. Ashley Anderson will serve here for Grace. Ooh, is this one touched? Yes, it'll be a point for Armstrong. Ball ended up out, but the Eagles couldn't pull their hands back in time. Seifert will serve. Ooh, good recovery both ways there. Pinata this time will come out to College, and she smokes it home. 23-16 Falcons. Went to the middle the first time and then back setting for College. Look at that scramble to get that back over, but then this time disguises it, and College. Great vertical, hammers that one home. I seem to remember her performing pretty well at a track meet in the high jump last year. Oops, a misfire there by Olsen. Eagles don't have much margin for error at this point, though. Libby Caspers will serve. Pinata is going to come back to College. That time was a tough one. And the Eagles will score the point. And that'll be an ace. Caspers helping them chip away. This time College gets the ball set where she wanted it and smokes that one home. Caitlin Essen will serve here for Armstrong. And that was in, and it's an ace on the set point as Armstrong building a big early lead. Then it was a little bit back and forth, but they hang on to pull out the win here, 25-18. So Falcons on senior night looking solid. Pretty different lineups from set one to set two, but either way, they're getting it done. Our third set coming up next year. It's Northwest Suburban Girls Volleyball on CCX Sports.
For 90 years, Connection has been at the heart of everything they do at Topline Financial Credit Union. Their team is passionate about connecting with you to help you reach your financial dreams. For some, they're here for your first, like your first checking account, first car, or first home. For others, they're here for those next steps, whether it's remodeling your home, saving for retirement, or starting a small business. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of your big moments. Visit toplinecu.com, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured with the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Welcome back to Armstrong High School. I'm Jay Wilcox. Thanks for being with us for Northwest Suburban Girls Volleyball here on CCX Sports. Armstrong taking a 2-0 lead over Totino-Grace here. Similar scores in those first two sets. And here we go in set number 3. And that's going to be an ace to begin the set for Hurlbrink of Totino-Grace. Falcons were a little bit unsure of who was going to take that one, and then at the last second tried to play it. Pinata ends up sending that one over. It was a tough ball against the net. College, a good dig. Williams then sends it over. Robrink able to dig it up. And a nice block there as Schultz timing it up in that back row attack. Those are tough because if you don't time it right, it's almost certainly going to be a point for your opponent. Pinata with the serve, and it is a good one. And that's another ace. Boy, that was similar to the one on set point in set two. Boy, if you're Grace, you got to be sure if it's going to be out. It's much better to play a ball that's possibly out than the other way around and let that drop in. This time they handle it. Hanson sending it over. Come outside to College, and she rolls it home. Boy, she's mostly been making the right decision on attack. Sometimes swinging away, but also has been very effective with tips and rolls. And sometimes when you've got, a strong attacker who can really jump, the other team is really concentrating hard on the block, and they'll leave some space behind. Pass tight to the net there, but pushed over, and now we get a back row attack called. Make it 5-1. Ooh, just handled there. Pinata will come to College, and that ball was off the blocker, so it's point for Armstrong. College really had to hang in the air. Their timing was off, but those are the kind of points you say, well, we'll take it. It wasn't exactly as designed, but another rocket serve there that Anderson stayed with. Dumped over here. Good job disguising that one by Hurlbrink. Another look. First blocked, and then setter dumps it over. Hanson tipping, just got it around the blocker. And punched over by College. She goes up again. College this time getting a swing and snuck it through the block. Addison Essen coming back in. She will serve here for the Falcons. And kind of a backhand tip try there, and it's into the net as Sainham just trying to change her path there at the last second. Sainham rolling this one over Higgins, and then it's put away by Kaspers. Nice job with the one-hand tip. Kaspers will serve. One of that strong junior class for Grace. College had to tip with the right hand and then tried to recover. Kaspers will get an ace. Higgins reaching for that ball. I think there's a possibility that would have been out, but until you hear otherwise, you have to try and play it. College into the net there. Again, they weren't very clean on that. First the pass to Pinata, and then her set wasn't the best either. 8-6. It was all Armstrong early in this third, but now Grace climbing right back in it. And that'll be another ace for Caspers. One of the few real rough stretches Armstrong's had tonight. They've been up 5 in a row now. Make it 6. Caspers has been spreading that serve out a little bit too. And we are now even at 8. Coach Pittman choosing to let him play through it though for Armstrong. This time they get into the offense and put away by Schultz off a nice set from Pinata. It started with a good pass. Everything about this point looked much better for Armstrong. Nice rotation there too by Schultz. Get on top of that ball. Pass very tight to the net. Yeah, a net violation against Grace. Falcons go back up by 2 as Seifert to serve it again. Hansen, I think that one was into the net, huh? Maybe not. Must have been off the blocker. Ooh, dug off the net. Armstrong scrambled to keep it alive. And that'll be a point for the Eagles. I really thought that earlier hit by Hansen might have been off the net rather than the blocker, but you got a much better look than I do, so. And younger eyes, too. White will serve here for the Eagles, trying to tie it back up. And it's an ace. They've had more of those in this set than the earlier. Short floater, and Armstrong not able to get to it was Higgins, or got to it but not enough. Cross court with it there, dug up by Anderson. Essen able to fight it off. And that one into the net from Peyton Olson. Totino-Grace now taking the lead. They were down 8-2 early in this one. Wait, another serve here for the Eagles. Now it's College firing away. Dug up there by Avery Olson. She will send it over. Going to come right back out to College, and they're not going to get that one. Never seems to be a bad idea to call her number, and Pinata coming right back to her. I even love the way the line judge called that. He was right on that. We're even at 11. And Armstrong back in front as the ace served up there by Caitlin Essen. Push down that line, fought off, and they stay with it. And there was an awful lot of space there. Good recognition by the Eagles. They had caught Armstrong really scrambling to get to the previous ball, and they ended up being pretty out of position. And Hurlbrink knew it and made them pay. So 12-12, really heads up reading of the court there. Sainham, a strong serve. And that one sprayed way long by Pinata. Eagles go back in front. And kind of a collision there for Armstrong. Sainham will get another ace. And Armstrong and Coach Pittman will take a timeout here, 14-12. They've had some trouble with serve receive here in this third set. Sometimes just mechanically, and then sometimes communication or decision making wise. But it makes it hard to win a set when you're giving up 5-6 aces like this through this middle stretch. Kind of interesting too mentally. I mean, obviously Totino-Grace hasn't quit or panicked or anything like that. Armstrong, I don't really feel like it's a matter of them letting down. It's just had some errors, particularly in serve receive, but it isn't. I don't think it's because they've relaxed too much or they haven't been winning that much. So I don't think you get overconfident or anything, or you shouldn't. But momentum switches are a regular part of this sport. Sainham with the serve. Olsen sent it back over. Now Brand's firing away and off the block. And she has not had all that many chances to attack tonight, and feeling good about getting that point. Eagles by 3. And Sainham a service error there. She's been pretty good tonight in several facets of the game, including serving, but not that time. Armstrong will get it back. Peyton Olsen to serve here for the Falcons. They are down by 2, although they have won the first 2 sets. Brands will get another swing here, dug up by Olsen. A bit of a miss hit there by Essen, but she got it over. Then dumped again by Hurlbrink. And it's the Eagles by 3. Pretty well disguised. You don't want to go to the well too often on that, and she hasn't. Got a couple of key points, though, by dumping it over. Maggie Quinn to serve here for TG. Pinata tipping. Oh, a scramble, and they'll get it over. Casper's punching it to the middle. Good effort by Higgins. And tipped off the block. That'll be a point for Grace. Brands able to knock that one off the fingertips of the blocker. So 4-point lead for Totino-Grace. And a misfire there by Fondo. Armstrong not playing quite as well in this third set. They're trailed by 5. Williams had it blocked. Now Pinata tipping to the outside, but she got it too wide. It's a point for Grace. Pinata had that one blocked. Eagles right now rolling. Casper's getting the congratulations. Another timeout taken by Armstrong as Totino-Grace has gone up by 7 at 20-13. A lot more smiles in the Eagles huddle now. Although, as I mentioned earlier, they didn't seem to get too high or too low when they were trailing. You didn't seem to see a lot of people being really upset with each other or anything like that. A lot more serious in the Armstrong huddle right now. Well, it was for a minute anyway. Now maybe not so much at the end. I think they're trying to get them to loosen up a little bit again. It's one thing you really want from your team is to just play calm and confident at all times. Maybe not calm isn't the right word, but don't play so much to the score as just taking each point at a time. Nice dig there. Another swing for Williams. They get it back though. Scramble for the Eagles now. Brands sending it over. Williams a third attack on this point. And Brands will smoke it home for Grace. All Eagles right now, and they lead 21-13, a long point. And Brands putting that one away. It might have glanced off the blockers, and then it just ate Higgins up. Good hands there, too, on the score table. Good effort there, but couldn't quite keep that ball alive. Higgins to serve here for Armstrong. Brands getting a swing, but that'll be an Armstrong point. Back out for Brands, pushing that one over. And Kaspers blocking Williams. Falcons got what they wanted there, but Kaspers doing a nice job. Pearlbrink will serve here for Grace, up by 7 as they try and win this third set. Brands pushing it across. Back outside to Williams, and just too long. Pearlbrink serve. Williams had it blocked. And then put away by Schultz for the Falcons. Pinata serving here for Armstrong. The tip by Kaspers. Williams off of Kaspers. It'll be a point for Armstrong. Here's where your Armstrong, I mean, obviously you'd like to come all the way back and win the set, but you want to get something positive going late too. I think there's a mix-up on the score there. They errantly had put that point up at first for the wrong team, so now 23-17 is correct. Olsen stayed with that one. Scramble, they get it over. Casper's firing away. Williams rolling it off the block. This time they'll come outside to Brands, and she snuck that one through the block. Eagles to within a point of taking the set. Anderson in the serve here for Totino-Grace. Pinata coming out to College, dug up by Anderson. And got it over. Pinata dumping it, and Casper's turning, scrambling, couldn't keep that one up. Addison Essen will serve here for the Falcons. Caspers puts it away on Totino-Grace. Will take this third set. Similar scores in all of them. Armstrong won the first two, and this time it's Totino-Grace pulling it out. 25-18 Eagles. We will go to set number 4 up next here on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Totino-Grace, after losing the first two, comes up big in the third set to win 25-18, and we go to set number 4 as Pinata will serve for Armstrong to begin this fourth. See if the Eagles can kind of keep the momentum going a little bit. Casper's sending this one over. And that's a tough one to handle, and I think it was off, outside the antenna there, so point for Armstrong. Play Pinata to serve. Ooh, that one straight into the net here, so we're evened up at 1 early on. Everything was really flowing pretty well for Armstrong in those first two sets. They kind of faced adversity in a big way for the first time in that third set. We'll see how they kind of bounce back from that. If they can get their mojo back a little bit. College had that one blocked by Caspers. Williams pushing it over, and then Olsen trying to play that ball over her head. Might have been somebody behind her that had a better opportunity, but you don't always know that. And Addison Essen will serve. And off the block and good. Boy, that ball was way to the outside. Peyton Olsen did a pretty good job cutting it back. And Caspers just didn't get her hands turned quite. It was an awkward angle, and that ended up being a reason she couldn't get that block. I think the timing was actually not too bad. Pinata will come outside for Peyton Olsen. That one's dug up. Caspers will put it away. More and more as the night's gone on, Libby Caspers has been a pretty good weapon for Grace. College hammers that one. Fair to say that most of the big dynamic kills tonight have been from college. Great leaper. Casper's tipping, and they scramble and will get it over. And nice block put up there as College and Fondo were there. 5-2 Armstrong lead. Seifert serving again here for Armstrong. Pinata will come out left there and put away by Peyton Olson. So a pretty solid start to this fourth set for Armstrong after they lost the third. Nice dig there by Essen. Olson again, this time too long. Caspers to serve here for the Eagles. Pinata will come out to College, and she delivers, finding the corner. Caitlin Essen will serve here for Armstrong as College will check out. Off the blockers now, Armstrong a chance. Punch back over. Pinata functioning as the attacker this time after setting up some of her teammates. That time she gets a swing and delivers. 8-3 Armstrong. Come right side with it. Good block. And a little joust at the net. Tough ball, but Olsen got it over. Essen to Essen, and then Olsen swings. Ooh, cut cross court. I think that was a little bit of a mishit by Zanum, but had the effect of being a change-up there, and Armstrong not able to get to it. So the Eagles break the Falcons' momentum a little bit there. Clara White will serve here for Totino-Grace. And put away middle there by Fondo. Armstrong hasn't used middle probably quite as much as Grace tonight, but certainly have had some moments where they've scored with either Fondo or Schultz primarily. Peyton Olsen to serve. And that one's wide. Haley Sainham to serve here for Totino-Grace, down 9-5 here in this fourth set. And returns the favor, back-to-back service errors there. Haven't had too much of that tonight. I mean, certainly maybe more than they'd like, but overall, pretty good percentage at least of putting serves in. Brand sending it deep middle. Williams off the net. Eagles able to stay with it and get it over. Pinata off the block and scores it. So Higgins will serve now for Armstrong, leading by 6. Rands had to adjust to that ball, but put it in a good spot. She was looking to get her approach and attack that one, and then had to really change her path. Quinn will serve now for the Eagles. And put away middle there by Schultz. Quick that time, and Caitlin Essen to Schultz. They score it. 12-6 lead for Armstrong. Pinata will serve. Not sure if there's a question on the score or subbing. Higgins getting it to Pinata. Now College tipping over the block. They were set up to try and deny her from attacking. I don't think she got the ball where she wanted it, so adjusted herself. Well, maybe it was actually, but with that two-hand tip, 13-6 Armstrong. Ooh, pushed over by Brands. Did a good job. Williams has it blocked. Pinata will dump it and will score the point. Honestly, it seemed like the set earlier in that point from Grace wasn't the cleanest anyway. I maybe possibly deserved point for Armstrong there. It felt like could have been called. And that's an ace for Pinata. They elect to let it go. She's been aggressive, and she definitely has missed some, but she's also put pressure on the Eagles' serve receive. And this time they let it go, and it's in. So a timeout taken by Pilar Onstead as her team has fallen behind 15-6. Armstrong, funny how that works. The team with the momentum always seems to be back on the court sooner. They want to get going again. Pinata to serve here. See if they break her rhythm at all. No, it's going to be another ace. 10-point Armstrong lead. That one was too long. Good decision for the Eagles as they'll let it go. Hurlbrink to serve here for Totino-Grace. Sent over by Higgins. Come to Caspers in the middle. That one blocked. And go then outside to Brands. Higgins stayed with it though. Oops, College She had a lot of good points tonight. That was not one of them. And she really seemed to change her mind midair. Pinata, long run to get there, and then a nice swing by College. Eagles fighting, but they're not going to be able to get it back. Nice when you have a player that has a little bit of a miss hit to get an opportunity again right away, and that's exactly what happened for Surrey College. Addison Essen serving here for Armstrong. Oops, a misfire with that one. Ashley Anderson serving here for Totino-Grace. Pinata will come to College, off the block and wide. It's a point for Armstrong. Look, they don't feel as good as when the ball hits the floor probably, but it's a point either way if you're Armstrong as it went off the blockers. And that one might have caught Sainham in the head, their forehead there, a little bit shaken up. And that'll be an ace. 10-point lead again for Armstrong as Seifert. There, put that one where the Eagles were vulnerable. That's going to be too long, as trying to go cross court to the corner was Hansen. And Armstrong first to 20 here as they lead at 20-9, trying to take this fourth set. Gatlin will come in here for Pinata. That serve's going to be wide. We might possibly be seeing down the stretch Armstrong trying to get those seniors. They started the night with the seniors playing that first set, and we might see them sub back in if they feel like they're close to wrapping it up. Casper is into the net with that one. College will serve here for Armstrong. Blocked by Fondo. Oops, tough ball to handle there for Gatlin. White will serve here for Totino-Grace. They've got to be efficient. Down by 10. And that set well off target there. Score it for Grace. Ooh, that serve is in. Falcons elected to not play it, and it landing looked like right on the line. Saw Grace do this a couple times earlier. Oh no, it's not even on the line, it's definitely in. That was more like hoping it was going to be out than really thinking strongly that it was. And put away by Fondo as College functioning as the setter there. And they're excited about that. 22-13. Well done. Timing was great. Good arm swing by Fondo. College going to Essen was blocked, but good recovery, getting the hand underneath that one. College will tip. Nope, going to be a back row attacker, yes. They're having some fun with it here as College working as the setter. Out and we'll come back in. Too long there from Addison Essen. And a service error there. Not what the Eagles needed in this spot, but Higgins will come in to serve here for Armstrong. Brand will get it back. Too long. 24-15. Armstrong trying to seal this one up. Seifert will sub back in as they do get all those seniors back out there to try and close out the match. They got it started well in the first set. Brand's rolling it over, but College is there. That one dug up, and there's another dump by Hurlbrink. And Armstrong fans were all set to celebrate, but not yet. Maggie Quinn to serve here for the Eagles. Dumped over again. Higgins gets there. Push cross court. Tough ball to the net, and Armstrong will win it with that point. As the Falcons, an emotional senior night, they come out, set the tone with a good, strong first set, and they're able to finish with those seniors on the court as well, as Armstrong getting the victory here this evening. They will win it in 4 after Grace had come out to take that third set. Armstrong bouncing right back to get it done. So again, the Falcons, they've got Hopkins coming here on Monday, and then they're at Blaine on Tuesday to wrap up the regular season. For Grace, they will be at Coon Rapids Monday, and then they host Mounds View in a non-conference match next Wednesday. We hope you've enjoyed this one, and best of luck to both teams as they get ready for playoff time as well. Thanks to both coaches for their information here tonight as well. Thanks for watching high school volleyball on CCX Sports. It is Armstrong defeating Totino-Grace in 4 here tonight in Plymouth. For all of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Armstrong.